Well, it's probably not exactly a Fox News alert to say Republicans want to stick a syringe at Obamacare and just be done with it. But maybe it is a Fox News alert to say Republicans have a host of alternatives to Obamacare if only the news media would admit it or just report on it, including one from Georgia Republican Congressman Tom Price. It's been out there like forever. His plan already has been scored to save taxpayers some $2 trillion over the next 10 years. But you didn't hear anything about it, though. It's just the way the mainstream media seems to like it. Congressman Price, welcome. Update us because, as you know, Congressman, the White House has been saying, hey, I'm all for hearing the Republicans offer alternatives, but they're just interested in tearing mine apart. You must wince, if not more, every time you hear that.
Oh, absolutely. And the president said it as recently as just last week. And so in a committee hearing last week, I held up one of the front pages of our bill, H.R. 2300, Empowering Patients First Act. And I said, Mr. President, we've got the plan right here. It's a positive plan that puts patients and families and doctors in charge. Give me a call. And then I gave my phone number. Amazingly, the president hasn't called yet. But this is what's so sad about it, because the American people think that there isn't an alternative to where we are right now. And there is. There are positive solutions that don't require putting Washington in charge of our health care.
All right. Now, does yours include coverage ultimately for everybody? How do you do it?
We believe it does. We believe we would put in place deductions, credits, advanceable credits, refundable advanceable credits, so that every single American has the financial feasibility and wherewithal to be able to purchase the coverage that they want for themselves and for their family, not that the government forces them to buy. We solve the insurance challenges of portability and pre-existing. You ought not lose your insurance if you change your job or you lose your job. You ought to be able to take it with you. And pre-existing illnesses, you don't have to put the government in charge and dictate to people what they must have in order to solve that challenge. You can allow people to pool together with the purchasing power of millions and solve it. And we can do that, again, by saving $2.34 trillion in the first 10 years and not raise your taxes one penny.
You know, when it comes to the president's plan and what's going to happen to it, Congressman, Tom DeLay, the former Republican leader of the House, was telling me, don't even venture trying to fix it. It's a disaster. Republicans shouldn't try to repair it. Even if it gave the impression that Republicans were just out to oppose something, not create something. How do you bridge that gap between kicking the president's plan just down the road, saying it's a disaster, and starting fresh, which I guess would be your approach?
Exactly. We do need to start fresh, because the first step out of the chute from the president's plan is that the government runs things. And the American people are seeing right now exactly what that gets you. Look, the Republicans in the House, we in the House fought as hard as we could to delay this, defund it, repeal it. The American people know that. Now the American people are seeing this roll out and why we fought so hard. You've got increasing premiums, decreasing access, the higher deductibles. This is phenomenal for the American people. They're going to say, this isn't what we wanted.
Do you think the president knew all this was, I'm sorry, Congressman, knew all this was coming?
Whether he did or not, he should have known. The president clearly doesn't appreciate insurance markets, how insurance works, thinks that government can solve these things differently than the private sector and make it more responsive. The fact of the matter is that's not true. So whether he did or not doesn't make a whole lot of difference. It's that he should have known. And the disruption that he's causing, I'm a former physician. I practiced medicine for over 20 years. The disruption that he's causing for the men and women who are out there trying to care for patients in this country is astounding. You've got people looking for the exit, trying to make certain that they're going to be able to just survive, not participate in these exchanges in the government program.
Congressman, thank you very much. We just want to let people know there are alternatives like yours that have been out there for a long, long time. So every time you hear, well, you know, they bash and they don't come up with ideas of their own, they're out there. You can take them or leave them. And the view from Democrats has been to leave them, but it's not as if they're not offered.